guys, my name is Jasmine, and I am your small town gray witch here to talk to you about taglocks. Editor's note, I understand that there's already a video on my YouTube page about taglocks. However, I've officially marked it as uncensored and 18 plus. Some of the topics I talk in that video about are the down and dirty, nitty gritty, and YouTube doesn't like it. So, this is the, I wouldn't say PG, but like PG-13 version of taglocks. So, if you are 18 plus and you want to know all the dirty details, even though that video is not that bad, go to that video, pause this video, watch that one instead. If you are not 18 plus on YouTube, this is where you want to be. This is the safe space, and we're going to talk about this in a very clean fashion. All right, let's get started. So, what are taglocks? Now, I actually have it where I can give you the full definition. You'll see it on the screen now. Taglocks, an item or substance used in magical or spiritual practices to establish a connection with a specific person or entity. Now, I think that is pretty precise and understandable. However, if you're like, what does that mean? It's in any item or substance, so liquids, things like that, that connect you and your practices, maybe not even you, but your practices, with a specific person. Now, that could be you, it could be a different person. So it's establishing that link between your magic and the target. Okay? I will have this up for a moment, so if you want to write about it in your grimoires, if you want to take a photo to have the definition at hand, or I will also probably put it up at the end of the video. So I'll give you a few minutes with the concepts of what a taglock is. Now, what are some of the examples of taglocks? It's literally could be anything. And why are these so important is what we're going to be going over in this video. So what is a taglock? We have this here. We're going to go over examples of a taglocks. And again, this is not all encompassing. It's examples. And what do we use taglocks for? And how do we protect ourselves from having other people use taglocks on us? All right, I'm going to switch over to the example slide once I can actually get it to work. Examples. All right, so some examples that are the most common are hair, fingernails, spit/saliva, other bodily fluids, which we will not talk about. That is talked about in the other video. Sentimental items, pictures, full name and birthday, or even everyday items. So, I've kind of listed these in the ones that are more powerful, in the ones that are less powerful. So the more powerful, the ones that create a better connection, are the items that tend to be on the hair side list. To me, that is my left. For you, it might be your right. The ones that are less usually a weaker connection, but doesn't necessarily have to be, is going to be on your right side, or might be on your left side. It's the sentimental item side. Okay? So, what are taglocks? All of these things are taglocks. So I am actually going to shrink this down so you can then see my screen. So give me 1 second, and I'm going to have it so that way all of the examples are shown on the screen. But you can also see my screen, because we're going to go over these. All right. Are you ready to actually go over the items and the things that can be taglocks? So, hi guys, I'm back. So the first off is hair. As you can see, I'm holding up a braided hair. This is actually beard hair. And then I have head hair. We have my hair, your hair. Now, hair connects you. So the way you could use a taglock in a witchcraft spell, even with hair, is take the hair and wrap it around the candle. That's one way you could tag lock someone. Another way is just put it in the jar, put it in the container in which you want to use that. So a really nice PG way of wanting a tag lock is, say you and your brother weren't getting along or you and your sister weren't getting along, you could go into their bathroom, take their hairbrush. Make sure that they are the only ones using their hairbrush. So we don't want to cross contaminate and accidentally involve other people that don't belong in the spell. So take your sister's hairbrush, pull a little hair off of it, and put it in a what's considered a honey jar or sugar jar. So you're going to take their hair. You could even put a little bit of your hair. Kids, please do not cut your hair. Your mom and your dad will get mad, but like just a little off your hairbrush is fine. Put it in there. Then you're going to fill it with sugar and rose petals and lavender and all sweet things and honey and no things that will not spoil. But all the sweet things in your jar. Then you're going to seal it. You could seal it with wax. You could just shut the jar. And you're going to put it on your altar. It's a good way of trying to bring those two people close together. But that's hair. Now, I have multiple braids of hair because my husband has allowed me to, whenever he decides to grow his hair long and then cut it, he allows me to braid it first. So, when we're doing magical workings, depending on what magical working you do, especially love and romance spells, you want consent of the other person to do so. We're not taking hair of a guy that we do not know or like doesn't know we like them or anything like that and putting it in a love and romance spell, because that's how we get obsession, not love and romance. But this hair is taken from my husband. He has entrusted me with it. He knows I'm a witch. He knows what's going on. He knows I'm going to use it in the best way that I think is, and he's completely entrusted me with it. So I have a whole bunch of his hair. Okay, so that's one way to use hair. Fingernails, when you trim your fingernails, make sure you put them in your trash at home, because again, they can be used just like hair. I wouldn't necessarily wrap a fingernail around a candle. It'd be a little short, and hopefully. Well, you can use, but like still, I think in a full wrap would be a little weird. But you could add them to spell jars. You could add them to burial boxes, which is a spell that I know how to do. You could add them to a whole bunch of stuff. All right? You could put them against a piece of wood and then wrap the piece of wood in a black ribbon to bind said person. You can do a whole bunch of stuff. Pop hits, you name it. So fingernails. Saliva. Now, saliva, yes, it's kind of gross, blah, 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 but I'm thinking in the most PG-13 way. Your water bottle. So, you open your water bottle. This one happens to be empty because I just finished it. And this is now a tag lock. It has my spit on it. This water bottle could now be used in a spell. So when you think of spit, you're not thinking like spitting on the ground or something like that. Yes, you could go to those lengths, but just be aware, your water bottle has your saliva on it. Your fork, your plastic fork that you used and you threw away at school or work or whatever, has your saliva on it. So you eat with that, you throw it in the trash, and now somebody's taking it out of the trash to use it against you. Or you could be taking their fork out of the trash and using it in a honey jar spell, because we're staying PG. Those are things to be thinking. So what I do with my forks and stuff is I always flip everything over in the trash and push it down. So it gets all gross and smeared with everything else. Or I slide it into the side where it's going to get mixed in with everything else, so it's not necessarily, I would say, a safe thing to use for other people because you don't know what else is on it. If you're going to pick something out of the trash to use against somebody else, or for somebody else, because we do for or against, you would want to pick it off of their plate exactly. You would not want it mixed in with the trash at hand, because you don't know what else is touched. And again, you're going for the person that you're going for. You're not going for the world. So you don't want to accidentally incorporate somebody else into your spell. For instance, if we had a friend over at my house and I was like, hey, I'm going to make a love spell for my husband and he's totally consenting to this and blah, blah, and he threw his fork in the trash and then they threw their fork in the trash and now I'm making a love spell and it accidentally involves them. So we got to be very, very careful, okay, people? All right. So, saliva. Those are the things that we could drink. It could be plastic forks. It could be my lip piercing, because that's touched my saliva. You also want to think about, like, nose piercings. That has my mucus on it. So, if I took this out and I didn't wash it right away and I changed it for another one, and then I'm like, where'd that piercing go? You got to be aware of those things. It's not to be paranoid, it's just to be aware. And the same thing if you're going to use things like this for a spell for someone else. You just want to be aware. Okay? Okay. I'm not going to try to convince you of the ethics of using someone else's taglocks without their consent. That is on your morals and your ethics, and you have to decide if you're okay with that. Okay? All right. So, sentimental items. We're going down the list. Sentimental items could be anything. It could be a locket. I have one here for my husband, because again, he gives me all of his things. It's actually in this jar. We kept it in this jar so we couldn't lose it. I know it's hard to see, but it's actually a bead that he got a necklace charm, 2 beads, and a kind of like a wooden wolf's tooth. It's a wood thing, but it's carved to look like a wolf tooth with a wolf, from his uncle, and this is very important to him. He's been wearing it for years. But one of the beads actually split in half. It actually split in 4, not in half, quarterly. But it completely broke. And he picked up the pieces off the floor. He found all 4 of them. Well, I think it was more of his lap, but you get the point. And he was like, I understand that this is probably too small to fix, but I also understand it's sentimental to me. Can you keep it safe? And if you need it, now you have it. And I'm like, I immensely appreciate that. I don't know if I would use them, because again, you also have to think about the energy that the item that you're taking with the sentimental has. So this item, it's very sentimental to him. It means a lot to him. So therefore it's really attached to him. However, it broke, and in his belief, it broke in keeping him safe. It took away some bad energy that was going after him, and it broke. And technically, he probably should have just left it there, but it was so sentimental, he couldn't. So if I use this, I would use it in either bad energy working, which I'm not going to because it's attached to someone I love, or I would use it in protection because it did its job in protecting him. So I'd bring in that protection energy. But really, I probably won't use it because you're doing a gamble with this. This is holding technically it broke, holding a bad energy in his belief. So I would not. So you also have to think about where the energy is coming from. I have, sitting on top of my desk, a book that my dad gave me when I was younger. It actually really is sentimental to me and my father's relationship. But if someone were to try to go in and take the book and use it against a spell with me, remember, it's my relationship with my father. So you are also dragging my father into that if you were to use sentimental items. Sentimental items get tricky because you don't always know the background to them. So therefore, you actually have to really know that person to be able to use sentimental items. All right, pictures. Now, this is a weird one. So you can use pictures. It is suggested that you use them when the person's eyes are open, because they're the window to the soul. So, open eyes, window to the soul, you're getting to them kind of concept. If you are using a picture of 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 a picture, and I'll explain what I mean by that. every time you go a little further out, it's a little less of a connection. And I really wouldn't even, like, desperate measures, I do a picture of a picture, but I really wouldn't even do a picture of a picture. So, what is a picture of a picture? Obviously, it's what you're like, duh, it's when you take a picture of a picture. But you have to think about it in this concept. Right now, I am taking this video. This is the first picture. So, what I'm seeing on my camera right now, what are you seeing, is a picture. My eyes are open. Technically, you could use this. But as soon as you try to take a picture of this, or you copy it to print it out, or take a screenshot of it, it now becomes a picture of a picture. Okay? And if you print out a screenshot, now it's a picture of a picture of a picture. So the video is the picture. The screenshot is a picture of a picture, because you're taking a picture of the video. And then once you print it out to use it, you are taking a picture of a picture of a picture. That is what you're doing. So, ways you can get direct pictures. There's cameras that print them out immediately. Film cameras, because they're gonna, and technically you could even say like, well, there's the whatever little pictures, I forget what they're called. So therefore the big pictures that come out are technically pictures of pictures. Or you could even take like spaced it. Take a picture with your phone and then print it out. That's still a picture of a picture, but it's probably the closest you can get. If you're not literally taking a picture and printing it out of the camera immediately. I know that they have those. So, and I don't know, but probably picture of a picture is the closest you can get. So I just wanted to make that clear. One way that you could actually get a direct picture, and I do this for myself, is the picture does not have to be a photo. It could be a drawing or something of that nature. If I want to work, I'm actually doing a spell right now, and I'm going to be taking a picture of myself and using it symbolically. So instead of doing a picture of a picture of a picture or taking a picture of I sat there and I drew myself. And yes, I kind of worked off of a picture. I kind of worked off of what I look like now. I kind of mingled the two. And you could say, oh, but Jasmine, that's not a direct picture because it's not exactly you. It's pretty freaking close. So just be aware. That's why they don't necessarily like pictures. It's because pictures get a little tricky. But it's not as good as hair, but it's way better than the trick I'm going to teach you now. So you can't get a picture of the person. They're not online. You don't have any physical pictures of them. You can't do that. One thing you can do is take any kind of parchment paper. This is a sticky note because I'm just going to teach you this real quick. And I don't really want to use a full paper. But you can take a parchment paper. You could take a regular printer paper. You could take anything. And you're going to take this paper. And this is where the full name and then the birthday comes in. And you're going to take your pen. And you're going to write their name 3 times across the paper. Full name. So you want your first and your last at very least. And you want the middle if you can. And I know I said yours, but you're going to do it via the target. So if it's for you, you're going to do it with you. If it's for a different person, you're going to do it with their name, so on and so forth. And you are going to write their name 3 times like so. I wrote the word name, but you're going to write their first and last name, and if you can, their middle. I don't understand why you wouldn't get there in the middle, but like at very least first and last name. So name. Cool? Cool. You're going to put this. Now, there's a trick to this. When it's facing you, if this is for somebody, you're going to fold it if you're trying to draw them in. So in other words, you're drawing them in, you're bringing good things into them, you're if you're trying to get them to be friendly with you, whatever it may be, you're going to fold it towards yourself. Or spin it clockwise. If it's against them, if you don't like them, if you want them to have poopy hair for a day, you're going to spin it counterclockwise, or you're going to fold it away from yourself. Okay? So first we're going to spin it. It says name. You got the name straight up. I'm going to do this for my grandmother, and I want us to spend time together, and I want us to love each other and get along and play Monopoly awesomely and just have a great time that night. Simple spell. I got her name 3 times, my grandmother's name. I did not write grandmother. I wrote her birth full name, okay? And I'm going to spin that clockwise because I want it, and my clockwise, not your clockwise. So it's whoever you're doing the spell clockwise, because I want to draw those good energies in between us. So her name, spin it clockwise. And then I'm going to take my pen and I'm going to write her birthday, her full birthday, including the year. You need the year. So I'm making up one right now, but I'm just writing birthday on the paper. So January 7th, because that's in a couple days, January 7th, 1986. It's way too young for my grandmother, but it's probably more my mother, but you get the point. And you're going to write her full birthday across the paper. So again, name, I'm bringing good things into me. I spun it clockwise, and I wrote her birthday 3 times across the paper, across the names too. So if I was angry with that person, if I want poopy things to happen to them, or if I just want them away from me, if I'm trying to get them away, I would spin it counterclockwise, then write the birthday 3 times across the name. Okay? So you got 3 names, 3 birthday, across the thing. Okay? And it's spun clockwise. Now, we're going to fold this 3 times. Again, fold it toward yourself. And I'm folding it towards myself right now so you can see what I'm doing. See, toward yourself. If it's good things. And you're going to fold it away from yourself if it's bad, because you're pushing it away from yourself if it's bad. I don't know how to explain this any better than I can. So, I'm seeing the birthdays. I'm going to fold it towards myself once. Okay? Towards myself once, and then I'm going to spin it clockwise again 1 time, and then fold it towards myself again. That's 2 folds, right? 2 folds. Okay, spin it 1 more time clockwise because I'm doing good things, and fold it 1 more time. So 3 folds total. I don't literally like using sticky notes with this, but I'm just using them because I don't like the stickiness. For this, I would not use sticky notes. I would use computer paper, parchment paper, some kind of something. I wouldn't use a sticky note. But if you got what you got, you got what you got. But I don't like the stickiness of it. It's an extra additive that we don't need, and extra stuff sticking to it that we don't need. But so I folded it again towards myself. This is a taglock now. Obviously, not this one. It only says name and birthday. But if you're actually fully doing this, this would be a taglock. Just this. Okay? This is now considered a taglock. That's what I mean by full name and birthday. It's just this. And you can see how I'm flipping it around. I wouldn't flip it around. I would just put it directly into the spell just like that. Because the more you flip it around, the more you're turning it, the more you're playing with that energy. But since mine is not a taglock, because it only says name, birthday, literally, I can play with it. So, this is a taglock. Taglock! So, now, I say everyday items. Now, this is going to be debated. I really, really thought about this. In my other video, I say these technically aren't taglocks, but you have to be aware of them. And then I'm thinking about the actual definition of a taglock. Let's bring that up again. Full definition of a taglock. So, an item or substance in a magical working that establishes a specific connection with a specific person. So this is a taglock. Everyday items can totally be taglocks. Okay? So, your everyday items can be taglocks. Your shoes can be a tag lock to you. Your jacket can be a tag lock to you. Your book can be a tag lock to you. Now, I don't practice hoodoo. I don't practice voodoo. I don't practice Santeria. But I know that there's a thing called hot foot powder in them. And pretty much it's a powder made out of several herbs, or however you want to say it, and so on and so forth. And it's to get you to go away. I'm not going to go through the recipe. Again, this isn't my thing. This goes into the protection aspect, which we will go over. So, I've read about them sprinkling it in your shoes. Well, if you put your feet in your shoes, or if it's in your shoes, and you don't protect against it, your shoes are now technically a tag lock to you. Yes, you could say no, it's not a tag lock because you're not until you directly interact with them, and then once you technically directly interact with them, it's not a tag lock. You know what I mean? It's counteracting itself. But your shoes are connecting you to that spell. You know what I mean? So, it gets a little tricky with those ones. But I wanted to bring it up because I think this is a great video in which we really start thinking about, oh, my hair is a tag lock. How can I protect myself? My necklace is a tag lock. How can I make sure that it's protected when I take it off? Oh, my drinking bottles are tag locks. How do I make sure no one's getting their hands on it? Because our main thing with tag locks, yes, you can use them. Absolutely. Everyone's using them. Use them. But also, the main thought process of it is, how can I protect myself against them as well? And not have people do spells or stuff like that I don't consent to, because they're all bad people out there. So let's bring up the protection, because I think that explains how we can use them, and I also think it explains how other people may use them, so that way we are aware of how everybody is using them, and we can decide how we want to use them, but we can also decide how to protect ourselves from them. So, hair. I already gave you the example of a honey jar spell with your siblings, or your mom, or whomever. So, a great way to not have your hair be used is, one, don't leave your brush around. Don't leave your brush around. Empty it. If you live with the person, pull all your hair out of your brush every single time. Stuff it down into the trash where it's getting mixed in and they won't be able to find it. Now your hairbrush is clean. Or don't leave your hairbrush around. Maybe your mom and dad will allow you to get a lock on your door. If you have roommates, put a lock on your door. I'm thinking kids-wise or teenagers, PG concepts, but if you have roommates or you're in a dorm, maybe put your hairbrush in your personal items, which they are not allowed to enter, or you have a lock on the door, whatever it may be. There is some times where you just have to trust people. But, so, the other thing is, if you're going to witchy classes, or going to be surrounded by a bunch of witches, where you don't know them, so you're untrusted witches. Now, it's not that they're untrusted because they've actually done something, it's just you don't know them, they're strangers. Braid your hair, put it in a high bun, something to get it where it's not loose. Put it up, and a ponytail is still considered loose. I would say a braid or a tight bun. Those are the ways to keep your hair up and safe, okay? You could even wrap it with cloth, which is an extra protective matter. That's why you see a lot of witches wrap their hair up, whether it be a hat or a bandana or a head wrap, a shawl, you name it. Wrap your hair, okay? Those are ways to keep your hair safe. Clip your nails at home and make sure you throw them in the trash where they're falling all into the trash after you are done. If you have roommates and you don't have a personal trash can, when you dump it to the side so it goes down into the trash. Great way to keep your nails. I know this sounds kind of gross in my head, but a lot of people, it's not gross to them. They clip their nails in like an old water bottle or something like that they plan on throwing away. It's just convenient at the time, and then they don't throw it away right away. Well, that you literally just made a water bottle full of your own stuff. Dispose of things that have saliva in them at home. So, again, shoving things really far down in the trash works. But the other thing you can do is someone recycles, and so like shoving a water bottle isn't really convenient down in a recycle thing. They can just pull it up. Bring your water bottle home and throw it away at home. At work, we do have a collections bin, which is recyclables for water bottles. I tend to bring mine home because I don't want anybody walking over and just picking up my water bottle. Now, I understand that no one I work with is into the things I'm into or even really looking at my water bottle, but I don't trust people, so I'm going to bring my water bottles home and trash them there. Keep track of all of your personal items. So if you are going on vacation, if you are staying at a friend's house, if you have a friend over your house, keep track of your personal items. If you have a necklace that is very precious to you, don't take it off. Because I know some people, like, for instance, will take off their jewelry that's precious to them at a hotel when they're going to go swimming in the pool. Well, don't put it with your towel and take it off. Take it off in the hotel room, where the hotel room is locked. One, for theft and stuff like that, just in general, muggle struggle, but also for taglocks. You don't know. You don't know. Okay? Put your stuff away. Don't give out your information about yourself. So this one, I in my personal life, I get uncomfortable because people know my first and last name. And at work, they have a paper on the wall that says everybody's birthday so we can celebrate. And I'm like, well, dang it. I don't really want that hanging up on the wall, but I'm going to let it go because I trust my coworkers enough and I trust my wards enough that I should be fine. Don't let just anybody into your house. And I love this because I put stranger danger. So, your house is your sanctuary and probably has the most taglocks from you and your family, or you and your loved ones, or you and your friends that you care about, whomever you're living with. It probably has the most taglocks in it out of everywhere, because that's the place you're supposed to be able to relax. So instead of constantly running around your house and trying to make sure every taglock is covered and collected and blah, 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 just don't let people that you don't trust into your home. Don't let strangers into your home. And if you are, make sure your house knows so that way it can stay protected. Okay? Okay. Ward and protect yourself, your home, and your loved ones. So, the best way to keep yourself, when it comes to taglocks, safe, or witchcraft in any general sense, safe, is warding and protecting you, your home, and your loved ones. Because it doesn't matter how big someone put up as a hit on you, or like, say they got a pocket knife, I can't say that. Say they're gonna bop you on the head with a stuffy. It doesn't matter how hard they try to bop you on the head with the stuffy. If your pillow fort is strong enough, they're never gonna get to you. That's my kid version of that, because I'm trying to stay kid version of that. So, don't be bopped on the head with stuffies. Make sure your protection and your pillow fort is super strong so no one can get to you, okay? Doesn't matter what they use the taglocks for. If your wards and your protection are up, nothing negative is going to come through, okay? And if you do it right, maybe some positive things may or may not come through. That's your choice, how you do your home, all right? So that is the protection aspects of taglocks. Now, pretty simple, eh? Conceptually, big rules. Don't get paranoid. I swear when I first learned about Taglocks, I kind of got paranoid. I was like, this could be a tag lock, let's take care of it. This could be a tag lock, let's take care of it. This could be a tag lock, let's take care of it. And now I'm like, I'm just going to push this down in the trash. It's fine. Okay, so it's just a conceptual basis. This is something that you can slowly work into your daily routine to just be a tiny bit more mindful about. Not to obsess over or get paranoid about. Okay, I'm bringing it to your attention to be a little more mindful, not to obsess and get paranoid. Okay? Best way to keep yourself safe is ward and protect your home and yourself and your loved ones. Okay? Tag locks are not good nor bad. They just are. So what are the different ways you can use them? Actually, in the comments, I want you to tell me some of the different ways of good things you can do and bad things you can do with tag locks that are inventive. We've all dealt with honey jars and candles. What's a different way that you can use tag locks? Okay? And poppets. What's a different thing other than honey jar, freezer jar, candle, or poppet? What's a different way? Because those are so played out. Alright? Alright. Yes, those have their place. I'm not trying to diss poppets, honey jars, freezer jars, or candle magic. Not trying to diss it. But it's everywhere. It's everywhere. We know it. So what are some things that we are not aware of? What are some things we don't think about and we don't know? That's the point of this video. So put that in the comments if you've dealt with things that are not those things that we should actually be aware of, okay? Put that down in the comments. Let's have a conversation about it. All right? Help your fellow witches out. All right? Now, these are just things to think about. Now, we've gone over tag locks. I will bring up what a tag lock is again, just so you can see the thing. I'm going to cough. Sorry. But now you can see what a tag lock is. And be aware, be mindful, work magic appropriately. Okay? So, that is my little uncensored, unrambly version of what tag locks are. So, hope you guys have a great day. Go think about every place that you leave your tag locks and giggle at yourself for being a little silly. All right? Bye, guys. And most importantly, of course, go do magic.